Good afternoon, happy stampers. How is everybody? My name is Judi Anderson from judistamps.com. Come on in and say hello and let me know where you're coming from today. Don't forget to share this video with your friends because they're going to want to see this. As you guys all know, our Hey Chick and Hey Birthday Chick is our exclusive special this month, and the exclusive part is the dies that come with it, plus the Hey Chick stamp set they brought back from 2017 celebration. And I got that stamp set, as you guys know if you watched yesterday's video. My dies haven't come yet. They're due to come tomorrow, so I am going to be making a card without dies. It's not simple stamping, but it's not a hard card either. I love the dies. I was debating back and forth if I really wanted them or not, and I decided I had to have them. I just love the corn stalks and the little chicken coop and the fence that's in there. They are adorable. And the Hey Birthday Chick stamp set is available in our JJ catalog on page 52. But the dies are not in the catalog. So if you don't get them by the end of this month, February, you are not going to be able to get them again. And you guys, I did some fussy cutting for my card today. So what do you say? Let's get started, okay? I was going to grab my laptop and I forgot. So let's flip you guys all around. You guys get to see my ceiling for a minute till I get this adjusted. There we go. Okay, we're all set. Okay, like I said, I didn't get the dies yet. They're due here tomorrow. So I went ahead and stamped and fussy cut most of my images. I haven't gotten this guy yet. And I went ahead and colored this one, but I'm going to show you how I colored it. So to start with, our card base is going to be crumb cake. And then I went through my designer series papers, and I knew that the In Good Taste designer series paper has some planking. So I said, you know, I do want a chicken coop here. So I decided to make my own, and it's not going to be as cute as the one that is in the dies. And then I cut a piece that's about 3/4 wide. I just found a planking. This is going to be the roof. So with this, I want to cut this at an angle so it looks like we're looking at the side of a chicken coop. And you're going to decide which way you want your angle. Do you want it this way or this way? I'm going to make my angle coming down this way. So I'm going to do this upside down because that's the way I want my angle, shorter to longer. Let's do it this way. And so I'm going to line up this tip with the cutting line. And then I'm going to decide how far down I want that to come. And I think that is about good. So I'm just beyond the end of my cutter here. So slice that off, and I'm going to check that on my card, and I think that's going to give me enough room. So now I want to make this even look like it's textured. So I've grabbed our Pinewood Planks embossing folder, and I'm just going to set this in here to emboss this. Before we emboss it, though, I have one more thing to do. I'm grabbing our Stitch Shapes dies, and I want to make a hole up here for our one chick, and I am going to do a square window. So we are going to put the window right up here. Okay, so let me grab my cutting embossing machine. We can put this on here. I just want to make sure that it's straight. Okay, put that sandwich down. Whoops, it moved. I guess I'm going to have to get my machine. Let's get our machine over here. So I'm going to reposition that. Just like that. And if it's crooked, that's okay. It's going to be a handmade chicken coop. And here we go. Let's cut that out. So we're going to have an extra piece that we can use on another project. Okay, so we've made our window. I'm going to change my plates. I'm going to take off the number 2 and the number 3. Grab my embossing folder. Put my piece of designer series paper in there. Place it on our plank. Grab the number 4 plate and run that through. We want to emboss that. Let's get that started. Oops, I'm sorry. Yep. Okay. Wrong one. This is an older embossing folder, so I'm going to have to use the clear plate. And that goes through much easier. If it's hard, if you noticed in the beginning it was a little hard, so I stopped. I didn't want to continue because you will ruin your embossing folder. Okay, so this has given it some texture. You can't see it on camera, but you can feel it. Okay, so we've got that. This is going to go on here, and our roof is going to go right on here. And I guess I didn't make it long enough, but that's okay. I will fix that. No worries. Okay, so that's the base of our card. So let's start coloring our images. Like I said, I'm going to show you how I did this one. And what I did is I took a piece of copy paper and I'm just going to tear it. It doesn't matter how straight it is, just along there. Okay, I'm going to do his head first, and I'm going to do this one with the light poppy parade. I want my chickens all to be a little bit different. So we're going to do right around his head and his tuft of feathers up here with the poppy. I am then going to take my light mango melody, and I'm going to color its beak and his feet real quickly. And I'm going to go ahead and do this little guy's feet too. Okay, so next we need to color them. So when we color this one, I'm going to do it a little bit differently than this one. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to place this paper on here, and I want to cover his or her wing up. So however this paper can go to cover that wing up to use as a mask. I'm next going to grab my Calypso Coral, and I'm going to dip my brush in, and I'm going to color its feathers just like this. Now you can make it as dark or as light as you want. Okay, we're done with that. I'm going to take my light Calypso Coral pen, blender pen, and I'm going to color its wings with that real quickly. And I think I'm going to want to use the dark too on this. I think the light's a little bit too light, so let's add some color. Just going to go like this. Maybe on its tips, bring that color up like this. Bring a little bit of color. You'll notice I'm not doing it real precisely, because now I'm going to come in with my light. I'm going to blend that color in. Okay, I'm not going to go over what I've already colored with the light a whole lot because I do want that lighter. But my pen is reaching into it, and that's okay. I may take my color lifter. I'll see how this comes out. and we're going to blend this out. I am going to use my color lifter here for a second. Oops, that's green. My color lifter. Oh, I don't know where I put my color lifter. It's missing. So let's take a lighter color. I'm just going to take the ivory, and that's going to lighten that up. Did you guys know you can mix your pens like that? Okay. I could even take my mango and go over it like this, and it's going to give it a little bit of a yellow hue. And I think I kind of like that. Okay, I like how that one came out. Now we're going to color the rest of this, and I'm going to use Daffodil Delight in my blender pen, or my blending brush, and I'm going to just blend it, starting off my paper and going onto my paper. And you're going to get different hues automatically. So we've got that one colored. I do want this to blend up here a little bit, so let me grab my Calypso Coral. I need a little bit more ink. So you can just keep playing with this. You know, yesterday, some of you were commenting on Diane's card and how it wouldn't be for a class. You guys need to realize we have demonstrators on here and customers of all levels. Okay, and some of them do want some more intricate cards, and I find sitting and playing with my stamps, I can just, if I was probably sitting down doing this by myself, I probably would be doing more coloring and stuff. Now I do want this one to be a little bit different color, so I'm going to grab my Bumblebee and my Cinnamon Cider. So we're going to start with our Bumblebee, and I'm going to make his head, or her head, green. Okay, so we're just going to do green. And I'm using my blend because it will resist the ink when we use our blending brushes. So that's another little tip. So if you color first, you will get that. Okay, so a majority of our hen here is going to be Bumblebee. So go off, and I'm going to do very lightly its wing first. And then I'm going to do this whole area where it's kind of feathery. Okay, and I want it darker towards the edge, so I'll keep going in and making that darker. And a little bit at the top. Okay, let's grab our Cinnamon Cider. And you could grab any brown, but I find that this Cinnamon Cider won't blend in to my Designer Series paper. So I'm just going to start at the tail and just move this around, blending it in. And once again, you can go as dark or light as you want. And his wing is really getting colored, so we might be going over that. Let's just keep going. I like how that came out. Oh, I need a little bit more color right in here. So just take my blender brush, and at the same time his tail and his back end is going to get a little bit colored. A little bit more. Let's go along the top a little bit. So just play with these until you find that you have it as dark as you want. We've got an egg here. All chicken eggs are not white. They're brown. They're kind of a peachy color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Calypso Coral first and my blending brush. And I am going to put a little bit of Calypso Coral. I'm going to cover up its legs. And let's just give it a little bit of color there. I'm going to take my Cinnamon Cider and go over it. And look how it changes the color, you guys. Okay, so we've got those colored. Okay, for this last one, I am going to use my colored pencils. I wanted to bring you guys some different ways to color these. Hello, Karen, how are you? Oh my gosh, I can see your comment. You know, I think that if you are on a computer or an iPad, I can't see them. For some reason, they don't show up till later. So I'm not sure what you are on, but it showed up. Okay, so we're going to color this guy, and we are going to use our colored pencils. And I want to use my crushed curry. Oh, my crushed curry is missing. Oh dear. Let me get my second set of pencils. We have Daffodil Delight in this one. Okay. We're going to use Daffodil Delight on its beak. And let's make them really funky. Let's use, we have Balmy Blue in this set. Ooh, I might have picked the wrong set. I'm going to do a Pacific Point. And that's what this one is. And that's what I'm going to do his hair in. So I am just going to color his hair. Just like this. He's a mess. You know, we go up to Michigan, up into the UP, up north, about 45 minutes or a half hour north of Iron Mountain. Iron Mountain is just over the UP and the Wisconsin border. And one of our friends up there has chickens, and he had a chicken that had a mop top like this. I just loved it. I thought it was the funniest thing. Okay, I am looking for my old olive. I got to take these out because it's easier to tell the bottoms. So we're going to take our old olive, and we're going to go ahead and color his tail. I love using watercolor pencils, and I haven't used them much lately. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to take those out and use those on my project today. Okay, we're going to take the yellow and just give them a little bit of color with the yellow. And this is Daffodil Delight. So I'm just going to go around the edges and around here, his feathers. Now we're not going to see his entire body. Okay, now I'm going to take my blender pen. These are the pens that make all your oops, I got a little bit of blue in there. That's okay. We'll blend it out. Makes all your ink pads into markers. So if you don't have a particular marker, you can use your blender pen also. Okay, we're just going to blend this out a little bit. I just want to soften that up a little bit. Okay, here's our crazy bird. Okay, we need to cut this one out. And like I said, we're not going to see the whole thing. So I'm actually going to chop him off, chop his legs off. I don't care about that. So we're going to have this one peeking out the window just because he's crazy. How many of you have one of those friends or relatives that are just crazy? You know, always making you laugh. I have a son that does that. And it was funny because when he was growing up, it was his 4th grade teacher. I went in for a conference, and we knew he was a jokester, but he was also kind of shy in school. So I didn't expect her to tell me that he came up with all these one-liners all the time in class. And she says, you know, sometimes it's not funny, but she says, I have to hold my laugh in and scold him for it because, you know, it is, his sense of humor is just hysterical. And I says, I says, you know what? We would have never guessed that with him. And then we say that our oldest and our youngest are twins born 10 years apart. When I was pregnant with my oldest, back then they didn't do ultrasounds unless there was an absolute reason to, and they kept hearing 2 heartbeats. So my doctor had said, I don't want to get your hopes up or, shock you or anything, but I'm hearing another heartbeat in there. It could be an echo, but you could be having twins. So we joke that the 2 of them are the twins born. I'm going to do a little bit more yellow here to cover up some of that blue. I shouldn't have touched that blue up here. I should have done that area last. Okay, we got that. And sure enough, my youngest was a jokester in class too. And his teachers told me the same thing. And in fact, one time he got in trouble because, I don't know, he was sitting in a group and there was this girl and she said something and he just did a flippant remark back to her. It wasn't against her or anything. And the teacher told us, yeah, what he said was correct. But at the same time, this girl started crying. So she had to reprimand him for it. Okay, so we have our chicks. Let's start putting this together. Now, I want to have something else behind here besides our crushed curry. So I have got a piece of soft suede here, and I'm just going to cut this off because we're not going to see it. And we're going to be placing that behind there, and I can put it in just like that. Now, I'm going to use dimensionals. So let's grab our dimensionals and put that together. So, and to this day, both of them keep us on our toes. They are alike in many ways, and probably out of all my kids, my oldest and my youngest look most alike and most like my husband. Although my middle son, who is my third born, he also looks like my husband with blonde hair. And my second child is a girl, and she has blonde hair. It's now, we call it bottle blonde. And I shouldn't have put that one in the middle there. So we are going to move that dimensional. And my 2 middle ones look most the same. And my daughter looks like me when I was younger, only with blonde hair. And her, she does have, my 2 middle children have blonde hair, but more dirty blonde. So that's a little bit about our crazy family that you probably more than you really wanted to know, right? Oh, well. So let me know, how many children do you guys have? Let me know. I'm always interested in hearing. And let me know if they're boys or girls. So I have 3 boys and 1 girl. This here and this one here, because we want to raise this entire thing up. Oops. Okay, so we got that. Let's get our piece of soft suede on here. And you can do it from the back so you can see if it's going to show. I am going to put a little bit of liquid glue on it so it sticks. And let's get this on here. Okay, just like, oops. We don't want it crooked, right? Okay. Now the roof, it is a little short, but that's okay. It can be short. And I think I'm going to want it a little bit narrower. So let me grab my mini trimmer. This was an offer 2 years ago when you signed up to be a demonstrator. You got this mini trimmer. This year you get designer series packs. 5 of them. Okay, which is an awesome deal to join my team. Okay, let's get some dimensionals on this guy too. I lost my little bin that I put my dimensionals in. Okay, whoops. I'm putting them towards one edge because we're going to overlap this onto our shack. And that one got a little bit too close to the edge. I'm just going to snip it off. You know, you guys know to keep one pair of your snips for ribbon and one for paper, right? Okay, so we got that. So there's our chicken shack. Let's start putting this together. We're going to have him sticking out here. Let's just do him right like that. Some more dimensionals. We can go ahead and use our white dimensionals. Don't you guys love our black dimensionals for those projects that have dark cardstock? I know I do. Okay, we're going to stick this here. We're going to take our Stampin' Seal and our silicone mat so I don't get adhesive all over the place. So, and this is a, you know, this is a card that you could do for those of you that are demonstrators. You could do them. I'm going to do them sticking out this side in a class because they can do as much or as little as they want. Okay, I'm going to stick this guy over here in a minute. We are going to take some of our burlap ribbon. Okay, and I want to cut a piece. I'm going to grab my ribbon scissors. I designated this pair. This is the scissor fob that we got from Leadership this last year. I'm going to cut that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip these first two. Just a little bit. I just want to tear this out. So I'm going to pull it like you were doing material and gathering it. So we're just going to pull those two out. Let's keep going. And see, and you get this little bit of a frazzle there. I'm going to do one more. We'll do 3. I think I need a little bit more. Okay, and that is going to go along the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and take my Stampin' Seal and put it along the bottom on the Designer Series paper. And just get that on like that. And we're going to attach this to the bottom. Okay, you can see we're a little bit long, but that's okay. We're going to trim that off. Just like that. Okay, these extra pieces, don't throw them away. We are going to fold it in half and cut it. We're going to fold it in half again, and I am going to be tucking it behind this little chick. So what I'm going to need is I'm going to need some a dimensional. So I find dimensionals hold the ribbon a little bit better, especially when you're doing a layered thing like this. So we're going to take that and just put it on there. I might need it a little bit more. We'll see. Okay, now I'm going to snip off part of this edge because I do want just a little bit bigger piece to make sure it's held. And hold it like that. Flip it over and put your second piece on. Remove the protective little coating there, and now I'm going to take and hold the ribbons or the threads, and I am just going to tuck that under like they are coming out behind our little chick here. You could have them coming out of the corner too, We're going to trim some of those off because I don't want them quite that long. And it's okay to come in front of him. So we're going to do some shorter and some longer. Just play with it. Okay, so we've got that done. Now we're going to start putting the rest of our chicks on. So I'm going to put this one down here. And once again, we're going to adhere it with dimensional. I'm going to use my foam strips. And I'm going to adhere it right here. That's what I love about these foam strips. You can just tear it. We're going to set that one. Helps if I tore it a little bit shorter. Stick that piece on the back too. We'll stick this one right here. This one is going to go on top of that one, and I'm putting this strip here, and then I am going to put a strip between the two. So I'm taking this strip, tucking it underneath at the top here, let it stick out because this one is going to be standing on top of that one. And just put it on just far enough so that you don't see. I forgot to take the protective label off. Hang on. That's what I get for talking so much, right? So, here we go. So Karen says Polish crusted chickens. Okay. Now, I wasn't sure if I'd want another one or not. We can use this one for the inside. I think I'm going to put this little guy here. And instead of using my fingers, I'm going to use my take your pick tool and get this on there. Okay, so that's the front of our card so far, but we need a verse on here. So I'm going to put on the front, "Hey Chick," and I'm just going to do it in Memento ink. Just like that. Now we're going to I should have folded that and scored it first. Let's get that done. Okay, how do you guys like that? Now we're going to do the inside. And I had a piece of basic white here. And I am going to say, "Have a happy day" on the inside. Okay, how many of you are yelling at me because my ink pad's open and I put the card there? I am going to put this off to the right. And actually, I'm going to put it off to the left. 2 sides to every paper, right? That's because my chick is facing the other way. And I want it like it's coming out of its mouth. And we're just going to put this right here. I should have put this up a little bit, but I used both sides already, so that's okay. Let's put this to the inside. And I will tell you, this card would have been a lot easier if I had my dies and I could have added some more elements because they have chicken scratch and some fencing, but this is for those of you that haven't gotten them yet. And there's our card. So what do you guys think? Oh, so Karen's friend had some Polish crusted chickens. They are hysterical, aren't they, Karen? I just love them. Okay, so that was our card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this card and Diane's card yesterday. I loved her card. It seemed like it was a lot to it, but really, you guys, you know, when you sit down and you're stamping relaxes me. So the longer I can be working on a project, and I'm always adding things to it. I'm not going to add anything to this. I don't think it needs any bling or anything. I think it's got enough texture and stuff going on. Oh, sorry, there's that cough again. So, I am going to be bringing you guys another card with Hey Chick this week once I get my dies. And hey, you know what? Head on over to Happy Stamping with Judi community, because I do weekly challenges over there. And right now I'm doing weekly lives. I didn't do one yesterday because I was planning on doing one last night, and it snowed and our snowblower gave out, so we were shoveling last night. So until next time, everybody, happy stamping. Bye-bye.